Shout out to Type Moon. And with that, hello and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I've posted a video. I really haven't been feeling myself with these videos, so I figured the best way to do it would be to dive into something I'm really passionate about, and that happens to be Fate Stay Night. I'm just truly in love with the Fate series and all of its branches as a whole. Some more than others, but that's not the point. Today, we're going to be reading... Let me say here, now that it's nice and quiet. Today, I will be reading the novel that started off for about 20 minutes. Just a nice little read-along. I forget if this version has audio on it for the voicing. If it does have it, I won't read out loud, but if it doesn't, then I will be reading out loud for you all. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you all enjoy what I believe is going to be the first of many Fate Fridays on the channel, and let's get right into it. When I came to, I was in a burning field. I guess there was a big fire. The familiar town had turned to ashes, and it looked like the remains of a battlefield from a movie. But that didn't last long either. The fire had died down by the time the sun rose. The tall wall of flame had shortened, and most of the buildings had fallen. It felt strange, being the only thing in that place that still had its original form. I was the only one still alive around here. I must have been lucky, or my house was built in a very lucky spot. I don't know which it was, but the point is, I was the only left alive. Only one left alive. I felt that since I survived, I should live on. I started walking aimlessly, because I thought it would be dangerous to just stay there. I wasn't really concerned about getting burned up like the other people around me. Probably because over and above not wanting to be like them, I had a stronger feeling in my mind. God, I love the soundtrack. But still, I had no hope. It was already a wonder I was still alive, so I couldn't expect to be saved. I won't survive. Whatever happens, I won't be able to escape from this red world. It was such an absolute hell that even a small child could understand it. And I collapsed. Was it because there was no air? Was it because there was no function left in my body? Anyway, I collapsed and I stared up at the clouded sky. Everything around me was burned up and all I could see was many shriveled people. The dark clouds loomed overhead, telling me it would rain soon. That's good. The fire will be put out once it rains. In the end, I sighed deeply and looked up at the sky. I say to myself that it hurts. I say so on behalf of all the people who couldn't even say so. That was 10 years ago. After that, I was miraculously saved. My body survived, but I think all the other things about me burnt up and were reduced to ashes. If you take away a child's parents, their home, and all such things, there's nothing left for him. That's why there was only my body. I think it's a simple story. In other words, in order to let my body live, my heart died. I'm dreaming. Huh? I squint my eyes at the white light. So bright, I think to myself. It was just light entering my eyes when I woke up, but I'm not used to it. I probably didn't even understand what the bright light meant. Huh? With my eyes focused, I'm surprised. I'm lying on an unfamiliar bed in an unfamiliar room. I'm surprised, but the room is so white and clean that I feel safe.
どこだろうここ
I look around. The room is big and there are many beds. A person is in each bed and everyone seems to be hurt. But nothing feels ill in this room. Everyone who's hurt is someone who was saved. I relax and let my eyes wander. Outside the window, the bright blue sky was unbelievably beautiful. After a few days, I finally understood. I could clearly remember what had happened in the past few days. Even so, I was no different from a newborn baby. Not just a metaphor, it was close to the truth. Anyway, it was a terrible fire. I had been saved from it. Was in the hospital with my body wrapped up in bandages, and my parents were gone. I didn't get the situation, but I vaguely understood that I was alone. I think I understood quickly. Well, there was nothing but children in similar situations around me, so all I could do was absorb the fact. And after that, the man came, right when I was beginning to worry what would happen to me next. He came on the day my bandages were taken off and I was able to eat without help. Wrinkled coat and uncombed hair. The man, a bit younger than the doctor, felt more like a big brother than a father.
こんにちは。君がシロー君だね。
Hello, you must be Shiro-kun. A smile that seemed to melt into the white sunlight. I think it was a suspicious voice, but a very kind voice.
率直に聞くけど、孤児院に預けられるのと、初めて会ったおじさんに引き取られるの、君はどっちがいいかな？
I'll ask you directly. Which would you prefer? To go to an orphanage or to be adopted by this man you've never seen before? That man was saying he could adopt me. When I asked him if he was a relative of mine, he said he was just a stranger. He looked like an unreliable guy with no future. But it made no difference, as I knew nothing about either one, him or the orphanage. So I decided to go with him.
そうか。よかった。なら早く身支度を済ませよう。新しい家に一日でも早く慣れなくっちゃいけないからね。
I see. That's good. Get ready quickly then. You should get used to your new place as fast as you can. The guy quickly started packing my stuff. His packing wasn't very good, even in the eyes of a child. Then, after making a big mess...
おっと、大切なことを言い忘れた。
Oh, I forgot to mention something important.
一つだけ教えなくちゃいけないことがある。
I have to tell you one thing before you come with me. Is that okay?
うん。
He turns to me lightheartedly and says, Yeah.
はじめに言っておくとね、僕は魔法使いなんだ。
To start off with, I'm a sorcerer. He says in a serious, exaggerated tone. It happened in an instant. Come to think of it now, I was really a child back then. I automatically believed those words.
じいさんすごいな。
Wow, you're awesome. I guess I said so with bright eyes. Since that time, I became his child. Actually, I don't remember what I said back then, but my father would always talk about that day. He would remember and retell the story again and again. So for my father, Emiya Kiritsugu, that might have been the happiest day of his life. So, I guess it was strange for my father to tell me that he was a sorcerer, but I was strange as well for admiring that. And thus, I became an adopted son, and my last name became Emiya. Emiya Shiro. When I said my name, I was really proud of having the same last name as Kiritsugu. I'm dreaming. A story from my childhood. It was when I finally convinced my father to make me his student, so it must have been about 8 years ago. When I was old enough to stay at home by myself, Kiritsugu started to leave the house on a regular basis. He would say in his normal tone that he would travel the world, and he began to act on these words. That's how it was after that. It was normal for him to leave the house empty for a month, and he sometimes wouldn't come home for half a year. The Emiya house, a big Japanese-style house, and Kiritsugu and I were the only ones living there. I was perplexed in this house at times. It was too big for a child. But still, I liked my life here. Emiya Kiritsugu would come home from his journeys and tell me lots of stories like a child. And the child who shared his last name would be at home waiting for those stories. I was always alone in the house, but that loneliness would all fade with the stories he brought back. The father who was always chasing his dreams like a kid. His attitude was astounding, but he always seemed dazzling to me. That might be why I wanted to be like him someday. Well, on top of that, looking at my ever-dreaming father, I felt I should become reliable myself. January 31st. Fate Stay Night 1. One Day, Part 1. I hear a sound. I hear a heavy, old, rusty sound as the door opens. Light enters the dark shed. Ah. My mind waking up.
先輩、起きてますか？
Senpai, are you awake? Feels the cold air and the approaching footsteps. Good morning, Sakura.
はい、おはようございます、先輩。
Ah, yes. Good morning, Senpai. Sakura smiles and nods as if accustomed to the situation.
先輩、朝ですよ。まだ時間はありますけど、ここで眠っていたら藤村先生に怒られます。
Senpai, it's morning already. You have some more time, but Fujimura Sensei will get mad if you stay asleep here.
そうだな。よく起こしに来てくれた。いつもすまない。
Oh, you're right. Thanks for coming to wake me up.
そんなことありません。先輩、いつも朝は早いですから。
It's no problem at all. You're always up so early.
こんな風に起こしに来れるなんて、たまにしかありません。
I can only come and wake you up like this occasionally. Sakura seems more upbeat than usual today, as if she's happy about something.
そうかな。結構さくらには起こされてるぞ、俺。
Really? I think you wake me up quite often.
けど、藤姉には叩き起こされるから、さくらの方が助かる。はあ、これに懲りずに次は頑張る。
Though, big sister Fuji always hits me to wake me up, so I'd rather have you wake me up. Well, I'll try harder next time. I answer her with a sleepy head. I don't know what I'm saying with my mind not fully awake.
わかりました。でも、頑張ってもらわない方が嬉しいです、私。
Alright, but I'm happier when you don't try. Sakura's giggling. Gah, I guess my head was still dozing and I said something weird.
ちょっと待ってくれ。すぐ起きるから。
Give me a second, I'll wake up. Just give me a second. Taking a deep breath, I clear up my mind. The cold outdoor air helps in situations like this. The chill works well to beat the sleepiness out of my head. In front of me's Mato Sakura, my junior at school. This place is a shed behind my house, and the time is 6 o'clock.
Senpai?
Senpai? Oh god, every time I say that, I want to die. I want to die. Ah, come on. Just get through the first video. Ah.
目が覚めた。ごめんな、さくら。またやっちまった。
Yeah, I'm awake now. Sorry, I guess I did it again.
朝の支度手伝わないといけないのに。
I have to help you cook breakfast too.
そんなのいいんです。先輩、夕べも遅かったんでしょ？なら、朝はゆっくりしてください。朝食の支度は私がしておきますから。
It's fine. You were up late last night again, right? So you should take your time in the morning. I'll get breakfast ready. Sakura says so in a happy tone. It's unusual. Sakura really seems to be in a good mood this morning.
バカ、そういうわけにいくか。今起きるから一緒にキッチンに行こう。
I can't let you do that. I'll get up right now. So let's go to the kitchen together.
よし、準備完了。それじゃあ行こう、さくら。
Alright, I'm all set. Let's go, Sakura.
いえ、先輩？
Senpai?
なんだよ。他に何かあるのか？
Hmm? What? Is something wrong?
いえ、そういうことではないんですけど、先輩、家に戻る前に着替えた方がいいと思います。
No, it's nothing, but I think you should change before you go back to the house. Why is she acting like this? My man's is not naked. Or in his underwear. Oh, that said, I looked down at myself. I fell asleep while I was working, so I'm still wearing my overalls. Being in my work clothes, they're pretty dirty. I can't imagine what Big Sister Fuji would say to me if I were to go into the house like this.
まだ目が覚めてないみたいだ。なんか普段に増して抜けてるな、俺。
I guess I'm not awake yet. I'm a bit out of it this morning.
そうかもしれませんね。ですから朝食の支度は私に任せて、先輩はもう少しゆっくりしていてください。それにほら、ここを散らかしっぱなしにしていたら藤村先生に怒られるでしょ。
That could be. So you rest here for a bit and I'll take care of breakfast. And you know, if you keep this place a mess, Professor Fujimura will get mad at you.
そうだな。それじゃあ着替えてから行くから、さくらは先に戻っていてくれ。
You're right. I'll go after I get changed. You go on ahead.
はい、お待ちしてますね、先輩。
Yes, I'll be waiting, senpai. Sakura leaves. Well, I have to change into my school uniform and clear up this mess. The shed is built on the edge of our yard, and just as it seems, it's a warehouse we put all our junk in. But for me, it's a place of treasures, as I've enjoyed messing with things since I was a kid. Father didn't allow me to go into the shed, but I always sneaked in here. As a result, it became my base. For me, Emiyashiro, I guess you could call this my real room. The big Emiya household doesn't suit me, and I can only relax in this space full of junk.
そもそももったいないじゃないか。ガラクタって言ってもまだ使えるし。
Besides, it's a waste. Even if it's junk, you can still use it. Most of the things in here are appliances that can't be used anymore. Did I bring all the junk in here because I like the place, or did I come to like it here because of all the junk? It's a real Schrodinger's cat scenario. Anyway, since I was always sneaking in here, it became my hobby to fix the broken things. It's not like I get attached to things. I think it just annoys me not to use things that can still be used. And just like that, I was fixing up the stove all last night.
完成は明日か。途中で寝るなんて集中力が足りない証拠だ。
I guess I'll finish this tomorrow. It seems I don't have enough concentration seeing how I fell asleep halfway anyway. I shake off the feeling of disappointment in myself. I gather up the parts of the stove and put them on the shelf full of things waiting to be fixed. There are no spaces on the shelf full of things awaiting repair. An old VCR waits after the stove. I guess I'll ignore the fact that Big Sis Fuji broke both of them. Oof. Alright. I change to my uniform. This place is like my room and it holds changes of clothes along with the things I need. It also has lots of blueprints and junk, the result of failures from when I do my training. This was some kind of old design inscribed on the floor like an altar or something.
さて、今日も一日頑張って精進しよう。
Well, let's get today started. Clapping my hands in prayer to the shed, I head for the house. I emerge from the shed. The Emiya house is a Japanese-style house on the outskirts of town. My father wasn't much of a respected person in town, but he somehow still had this huge house. That on its own is a mystery, but it also seems he didn't have any relatives in Japan. That's why the house became mine and no one else's when my father died. Though, to be honest, I don't have that kind of management ability. Old man Fujimura is in charge of complicated things like inheritance and property taxes. Old man Fujimura is the big landlord in this neighborhood. According to father, the old man's like a Yakuza boss. Of course, this is just prejudice. He's not like a Yakuza boss, he is a Yakuza boss. Mafia in here, let's go. Well, that's a problem in itself, but I prefer to ignore it. It's certainly true that he's energetic and scary, but he's actually not that bad a person. It really helps me as he pays a lot when I tune up the motorcycle he likes to ride. Anyway, that's why I'm the only one living in this big house. It's been 5 years since my father died. The days have passed quickly. I sigh thinking about how much I've grown in those 5 years. I've trained every day to be like Hiritsugu, but it's not that easy in reality. It's natural because I had no talent to begin with. But what can be said about having no improvement at all in 5 years? Oof. Oof. To sum up the present in one sentence, my goal is so far away that I'm not even at the starting line yet. No, I guess it won't do any good to rush. For now, I have to do what I can. Well then, for now I should... And we're gonna pause right there. Oh no, I forgot the controls. Thank God. I remembered. Let's go. Save. Let's go to page 2, number 1. That is our save data. There we go. Okay, so that was the first part of our read-along for Fate Stay Night. If you managed to make it this far, I truly appreciate that you took the time to watch this. If you enjoyed the video, I recommend hitting the like button. And if you have any thoughts on my reading style, please let me know in the comments. Yes, once again, I'm gonna try to do voices, and I'm gonna die inside every time I have to say some form of word like senpai. But if you want me to keep saying those words, let me know in the comments, because if not, next Friday, when the next part goes up, I'll probably won't say them. But if you want to hear me say it, knowing that I'm going to cringe on the inside every single time I do, let me know. Because at the end of the day, I'm sharing this experience with all of you, so you get a say in what will happen. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And Hope you all have a good weekend. Take care.